Milwaukee Badger Politic. I'm Scott Stearns.
Yes. Hello, this is Paul Sickle after
The Brewers.
I wanted to bring them up first. All right.
I mean it's looking good. September baseball is exciting here in Milwaukee. We've got
The 24th?
a week left in the season, and the Brewers are up 3 games over the Cardinals for the wild card.
Yeah.
And they're a game and a half back of the Cubs.
3.5, I think, over, or I think it might just be 3 over Colorado, too.
Yeah.
No, 3.5.
3.5, yeah. Colorado's a half game out of the wild card at this point.
Right. So that would be excellent, by the way, if we could chase St. Louis out of the wild card and have Colorado.
I'd rather play the Rockies, that's for sure. I mean, although, obviously they know the Cardinals well. They play them a lot during the regular season.
Yeah, but historically they've done worse against the division. Not just historically, this year they've done much worse against the division than they have against the rest of the league.
It's exciting, though. So they've got 2 more games against the Cardinals, and then they get a day off, and then come home and finish up against Detroit to round up the season.
What is the Brewers' record against other NL division foes?
I do not have those numbers. But,
I think it's really impressive, actually. Yeah. Last I checked, I think they're now 37-37 against the division.
Okay.
And there's something like, I want to say 13-10 in interleague play. 37, so 50 and 47. Mm-hmm. We're doing math on a podcast.
On the fly.
We're not supposed to do that.
Right.
But my sources say it's they have 40 wins against non-division NL opponents.
Okay.
And they have something like, what's 47 from, how many losses do they have? 67, 20. Yep. They're 40-20 against the rest of the NL.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that's worth some math. Come on. They're 2-1 against the rest of the NL. That's kind of insane.
I like it. Well, that's an argument to play Colorado for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll see where things shape up.
Then again, that did include San Diego and the Mets.
Well, of course, all those bottom feeders.
So, right.
But it's exciting to have meaningful baseball after the football season starts.
The football season's not bringing any joy to Wisconsin.
Not so far. Not so far.
Just ask Clay Matthews.
Yeah, there's that. So elsewhere, we've got the governor's race is really in full gear right now. We've got this announcement today.
I haven't seen any ads.
No, nothing.
What? I wonder still, though. I mean, I saw like a new take, yet like the 15th take on the same theme, and I wonder if they just following the old. I hate to say it, the Goebbels strategy. Of hate to bring up the Nazis, but say something enough times and people will
becomes
believe
truth.
It's true. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I would say it's got to be frustrating for Walker. The fact that he's been throwing all these negative ads on the air about Tony Evers' performance as state superintendent of education.
Right, and we thought he'd be Walker could have been at least tied or ahead in the last Marquette poll, and he wasn't.
It's just
he was behind a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it has had no impact. All these negative ads, and so for Scott Walker, he's got to be looking at this and be like, what? Like all my magical powers that have worked in the past are not working now.
I can't believe I'm losing to this guy.
Yeah, how is this happening? So
it was a great Saturday Night Live, by the way. We should probably put it on our Facebook. The clip in 1988. John Lovett was playing Mike Dukakis. Dana Carvey was playing George H.W. Bush.
Yes,
and they were debating Dukakis versus Bush. And Dana Carvey was going on, 1,000 points of light, and all this stuff like that. All you millennials won't know about, but you got to be a Gen Xer or a baby boomer to appreciate it. But anyway, just going on with the stupid platitudes like, a kinder, gentler nation wouldn't be prudent. And he kept going on and on with that. Like, and they show like what's going on in the guy's head. And so they go back to John Lovett's playing Mike Dukakis. And he goes, I can't believe I'm losing to this guy. So
I do remember that.
Perhaps that's where Walker is right now.
It could be. I mean, basically, though, his alternative now is he announced today that he's proposing a 50% increase to the counties, the 72 counties in the state, to fix roads.
You said that like you believe it might be true.
This is from the horse's mouth.
So it must be true. Well, then I better vote for Scott Walker.
He is promising counties a 50% increase in funding for road construction.
Well, then I should vote for him.
Well,
basically Scott holes are nothing.
Well, I mean, what it says is, where was this money before? I mean, the roads and bridges have been falling apart in the state, and less than 8 weeks out before the election?
6 weeks.
All of a sudden we're going to say that we got money for roads
6
now.
6 weeks out. I think we're 6 weeks out.
Yeah.
To tomorrow. So yeah.
So where did this money come from all of a sudden?
I mean, he tried the $100 child tax credit. It's basically
fell flat in his face.
As you said, he'll be for Medicare for all.
I think
by the end of this campaign.
Right, but by the time election day rolls around, I think he's going to be proposing Badger Care for all.
And if anybody
universal Badger Care in the state,
Scott Walker, none of it will be reality.
Well, of course,
he's very good.
This is just to get him to cross the finish line.
His promises. Somebody actually should run an ad. That should be the next line of attack on Walker. Should just have like all his platitudes and promises that he's had over the years.
Promises.
We're going to do this and that, and then like the record, and just be like, what will he say next?
Yeah,
just to keep his job. I think people are starting to get from the whole attacks on Evers and the teacher porn case, which just got to be such a broken record that it wasn't benefiting Walker.
No, nobody's listening.
Although they're still running the ads.
Of course they will. They'll continue to run it.
Right. Somebody should run. I mean, the real attack ad should be Walker says this, Walker does that.
Yeah.
And it's like,
this is what Walker says, and this is what Walker does.
Walker will say. Walker won't say anything, and just completely, not even like what he says, what he does. Like get him contradicting himself.
Yeah. Well,
Walker versus Walker. Like Jon Stewart years ago did Bush versus Bush.
Oh yeah.
Like how about Walker being like, oh, we're gonna hold the line on property taxes, or we're gonna keep. We're going to make schools, like, live on their means, and, like, oh, now we're going to give schools lots of money.
Yeah.
And, like, just completely, all the contradictions in his career.
Let
them show up, put them in the 30-second ad, and say what, say anything to get elected.
Well, it's fairly obvious his strategy now, because the negative ads are not working. The Marquette polls to be believed, Evers is up 5 points. And at this point,
Marquette's in the middle of the polling too.
Right.
I mean, it seems pretty consistent with most of the research that I'm aware of.
Yeah. So if that's not going to work, then his other answer is like, well, I got to start throwing money at stuff. And so what is something that I'm weak on? Oh, I'm getting killed on the quality of roads in this state. Yeah. So I got to throw money at that. Oh, there's I got to be the education governor, so I'm going to throw money at UW.
The reason I think is that kind of negative ad where it's like Walker versus Walker needs to come out is that he's going to run an ad saying, oh, now with my new proposal, where it's like, well, we tripled money for Fab Labs. Well, who the fuck knew what a Fab Lab was before? Well, you were giving it $1, now you're giving it $3. Well, great.
Yeah.
So
what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously, we just kind of laid it out there in terms of where things stand. What are your thoughts? 6 weeks away from Election Day.
My thoughts?
Yeah. What do you think the chances are? What do the odds look like?
Oh, I thought you were asking what my thoughts were.
Both.
The chances.
Both.
Okay. All right. My thoughts are I hope Walker loses.
Well, of course.
I hope Baldwin wins too.
How likely do we think that scenario is?
Walker, Evers, 50-50.
I think I was there, but now I think the way that he is, if the polls are to be believed, and I don't see any reason to doubt Marquette poll at this point, the fact that he's losing independents as badly as he is, that is a really, really dire sign for his chances.
I think he didn't poll all that well with independents previously, or it was
except
really
that he's
close
always
to-
won independents in his previous races, and if he's
in the
I think
exit polls,
he's
but
down,
I think the pre-polls.
he's down what 20 points or something like that. It's
Okay.
bad.
I gotta look
I mean,
at the data. If that's true, then I would probably give Evers the edge just by a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's got. I think it's like a 60%.
Honestly, though,
I'll say 60% chance that Evers wins.
I just don't think Evers is the candidate that puts
Captain
puts him on the
Excitement, come on.
ropes. I mean, it's everything. I mean, Evers has a little bit of a like let's get real persona, which is good, which is helpful. Like calling out BS.
Well, and we've talked about it previously about the fact that that he isn't the most dynamic candidate, and the fact that he's not this hyper personality. Exactly, because he comes across as more genuine, and people are like, yeah, we've got some bombastic politicians, and we don't need another one of those.
By the same token, it is politics,
of course,
and you gotta. Politics does have certain rules. Mm-hmm.
A lot of those rules have been broken recently, though, so we got to keep that in mind.
But usually they don't get broken in the way they should get broken.
Yeah,
they usually get broken for the whatever you were fearful of. Mm-hmm. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the John Kerry Bush race, in 2004, where Kerry was like, this guy who genuinely seemed really interested in the betterment of the country.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, people said, well, they'd rather have a beer with Bush.
Yeah,
and they trusted Bush more on like security issues, which is obviously what they're going after Evers for. They thought that Bush was, probably a little better for business or what have you. Mm-hmm. And the economy is okay. And I would say Wisconsin, the economy, I guess I'd say it's okay just because it's a good economy nationally.
Sure.
It's not actually that great. The unemployment rate is yes, it's a very nice number, but it's being supported by the fact that people have moved out of state.
I mean,
it's
really,
the biggest reason.
Really, what it comes down to,
so few jobless people is that so many people who were looking for jobs moved.
Yeah,
you can compare that straight up against not Illinois, Minnesota.
Yeah,
and it's like the rate of out-migration in Minnesota is considerably less. If it was the same here as it was there, our unemployment rate would be like double.
I mean, really though, for Walker, I mean, one of the biggest things that I think is costing him votes is he has never recovered from running for president. People see that he's ambitious and he's got things that he wants to do outside of his current job, and I don't think he's ever recovered from that.
And I hope that's right. I mean, I think it'll be real close. I think it'll come down to turnout,
of course,
in Milwaukee primarily, and in Madison somewhat. Madison, I'm expecting a big turnout for the Evers Barnes ticket. Mm-hmm. So obviously that has to deliver. Then the question becomes, what happens in Milwaukee?
What happens in Milwaukee? And
and mind you, the Foxconn thing may be blunting a little. Like a lot of times, what happened in Milwaukee was amplified, like as you saw in the Obama elections, by happening again, and we're seeing in Kenosha, Beloit. Foxconn thing might blunt it a little bit. Even in the city of Green Bay or the city of, like areas with large concentrations of non-white voters, mm-hmm. do they turn out?
Yeah.
I think there's a chance Milwaukee might turn out, but that's going to be tough. Yeah. And I really don't know about those other cities.
Remains to be seen. But it is absolutely a turnout game. I mean, it has to be. If they're going to be successful. I mean, the polls are one thing, but until people get out there and vote, that
a close election, it'll come down to really whether Milwaukee, especially, and then maybe somewhat we're seeing Kenosha, Green Bay.
The good thing is
have some turnout.
The good thing is that at least in the city of Milwaukee, early voting did start today, and they have set up some good locations. They've got voting on campus at Milwaukee Area Technical College. They've got voting on campus at University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. So the students.
I'd be curious to know what the data shows in terms of take-up rates.
Right.
I mean, I haven't done it myself yet, so who am I to talk?
Of course, but I think that's going to be huge in terms of encouraging turnout.
I would say it would be a big sign is 50,000. I think that was a number that voted in the Obama-Romney race in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Something around 50,000.
So we should keep our eye on that number to see.
I think we
what
should
that
actually
looks like.
double check what that number is.
Yeah.
It might be 35,000. I might be
we'll have
misremembering it. But
we'll have to dig into that.
I think that would be kind of a touchstone. Usually the early voting is historically dropped in the midterms. I think if you could reach, it was considerably lower in 2016.
Yeah.
They're down back to one location.
Right.
I think. I think it was just one location, right?
Well, I mean, usually it's at the Zeidler building downtown.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty much where it is.
Well, but they expanded in 08, I remember.
Yeah.
And then they were forced to contract it.
Well, yeah, they couldn't have weekend voting anymore and all that stuff.
I think they expanded it again at the end of 16, but it was like too little, too late.
Pretty much.
So I think if you see a big early vote turnout, it's going to be at least 25,000, I would say, to indicate that there's going to be some muscular turnout in Milwaukee. I'd say somewhere between 25 and 50,000 is what we're looking for here.
There's like 6 locations, I think. There was 3, I think, starting today, and then in a few weeks we go.
It goes up to 6.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of opportunities regardless of what neighborhood you're in. And there should be a location near you.
Wait, Scott, are you saying I could vote today?
You can.
I could vote.
You could
tomorrow
vote
morning
if
I wanted to.
Go, yeah, absolutely. You could do that.
Where would I go?
Well.
How about the Zeidler building?
You could go downtown, yep.
Okay, could I go to Midtown?
You can go to any of those places.
I go to Midtown, I could probably go to, I think it's a Forest Home
You
Library.
can go to UWM.
Just trying to double check, just trying to make sure it's a public service suite.
Yeah.
And we'll mention this on our Facebook,
we'll post the sites so that everybody has awareness around it. I mean,
right.
My polling
whichever one you want, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, America, Milwaukee County, whatever.
My polling location is across the street from my house, so I don't bother with the early voting unless I'm going to be out of town. But it should be convenient enough for everybody to get out and vote.
And it's getting there. It's better.
It's better than exactly.
So
that said, anything else going on? I mean, obviously we've got the Kavenaugh stuff. That's all in motion. The hearings this week.
I still now, and you mentioned this a couple of podcasts ago, that obviously the incentive to drop the nomination would be that 2 other accusers would come out. Now you've got 2 more.
It's starting. I mean, they
that
wanted,
was probably the incentive at the time to push it through, was to get it done before this all came out.
Exactly, and now I think they want to get it done this week before it really gets out of hand. But I don't know. I mean, the closer we get to, I mean, every day there's just more, and at some point, it's too much.
Do they have the votes this week?
That we don't know.
I mean, I have a hard time believing
Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski have not announced how they're going to vote. Likewise, Jeff Flake, who's the outgoing senator from Arizona, he hasn't announced how he's going to vote. I don't even think Dean Heller's announced how he's going to vote. So they don't have the votes today, at least not on record. So we don't.
Can they skip committee and just go right to the floor?
They can. So how it works is they can. The committee takes a vote, but it can still go to the full Senate, even if the Judiciary Committee doesn't support it. It can still go to the full Senate for a vote. It's more of just like the committee recommends or doesn't recommend it.
But they can they just not do a committee vote? And
just discharge it?
Yeah, just
entirely.
Right, go right to the.
That's possible.
I wonder if they wouldn't do that. I wonder. If
I think they would. I think they would still have a committee vote.
I'm just. The more I think about it, Mitch McConnell's such a political animal. Mm-hmm. That's all he really cares about. He doesn't give a shit about process.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them just go right to the floor, take the vote, lose, and use it as a cudgel to beat up.
McConnell will not. He will not put the guy up for a vote if it's going to fail. He won't do it.
Why not? It would be a good. No, it'd be
because
good
it's
outrage.
a challenge. Because it's a challenge to his leadership ability. The fact that he wasn't able to get.
I don't buy it. I think McConnell's such a political animal. What benefits his chances to keep? What McConnell really cares about is whether he has a majority on November 6th.
Yeah.
and a stronger majority at that. And the best way to get that is to have a no vote to trigger outrage against red state Democrats. And actually, even though Heller and Flake will vote against it, their seats, Flake I know is leaving, would actually be more likely to get Republican votes out of the outrage machine.
I hear what you're saying, but that's not how McConnell operates, at least not historically. If he doesn't have the votes,
he's a naked politician. He doesn't give a shit.
If he doesn't have the votes, he's not. He's going to kill it.
That's assuming he cares about process. That assumes he. No, let's see. When we come back next week, by the time you listen to this,
well, yeah, it's going to be done one way or the other.
I'm betting that Kavanaugh will have gone to a vote, will have lost, and the right wing outrage machine will be cranked up to 11 in order to try to win this election and fire up the right to come out and vote.
The soonest
that's what I think will happen.
It won't. I don't think it'll be. Actually, I don't think it'll be voted on by the full Senate before next week, because it's got to go through committee this week, and then it'll get on the Senate calendar for next week at the soonest.
I thought they were always trying to push it by the end of the September.
Well, it has to get through the committee vote first, which is Thursday at the soonest.
Can't they just discharge it?
But they've got everything lined up this week. They got the hearing on Thursday. They're going to bring in Kavanaugh to testify. They're going to bring in Ford to testify.
Isn't there some sort of advantage to getting it done before September 30th?
But you have rules where it has to, once it goes to the full Senate, it's put on the calendar. There's a certain amount of hours of debate that has to take place. I thought
there was a reason they wanted to get done before September 30th. Was that just a magical arbitrary date?
It might have been.
All right. Well, maybe they drag it out. If I were them,
they may have weekend votes lined up. I mean, that's the thing is they may. So if it gets through the committee on Thursday, McConnell may just say, "All right, we're sticking around for this weekend because we need to vote on this thing by Saturday or Sunday."
If I were them, who can support this? I'd be hoping they lost. But if I were them, but the real reason I'd be hoping they lost if I were them, and just the real political reason, is because it'll stoke the outrage machine on the right.
Yeah,
and help
I see where you're coming from.
Bring up turnout and help them keep the Senate.
I see what you're saying. I don't think McConnell's going to do that. I think if he doesn't have the votes, I think he's going to say, "Mr. President, we're not moving forward. We're done. Go find somebody else."
I mean, I guess he could probably play the outrage machine that way too.
Yeah. No, that doesn't. That's the thing, is it doesn't require.
I think the whole Kavanaugh episode ends by the end of next week.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. So, and my guess is 80% he's not on the Supreme Court.
Oh God, really? That's pretty confident that he will.
I just can't picture.
Oh, I can't.
I mean, unless they can beat the red state Democrats into voting for him, I can't see it.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
So we'll pick it up next week. We'll see where it's at. So
we'll stay strong, red state Democrats, even though it might hurt our short-term electoral chances.
Sure. All right. Forward, everybody.